So, first of all, I want to just kind of set the tone for today. What we're going to cover is all of those crazy, and I can never say that word, acronyms, something like that us weird techie people use on a daily basis. And trust me, I would not know any of these if I haven't been in this industry for as long as I have. So we've got 12 companies that signed up, and I think we might have a few last-minute attendees, but I want to thank you so much for joining us today. And I want to kind of go through a few rules, and my rules are cool rules. The first one is to have fun. Life is so short. We're here for just a blink of the eye, so this by all means is not a stuffy session, and I'm not a stuffy girl. The other thing is no Google today. You either know the answer or you don't, and if you don't, I'm here to give you the information. That's what my job is. So I'll kind of tell you in a future slide why I worry about things such as Google and browsing the internet and being too much into technology, and we'll get your opinions on that as well. Also want you all to be interactive, but I want you to be kind. There's too much player hating in the world, and we're here to be friends and grow our community. So we're going to continue going on, and I want to, first of all, thank Katie, my very good friend and our manufacturing hype girl, who is with MNI, for inviting me to do this session today. So a little plug for a really cool organization. They are the nation's, hold on, that's technology for you. I forgot a few things. Can go ahead and roll those over. They are the nation's largest and oldest compiler of industrial information. Whether you have a product or service to sell, or you're looking to purchase parts or supplies, M&I can connect you with nearly 500,000 manufactured suppliers, wholesalers, distributors, and industrial service providers. Woot! What impresses me the most about M&I is the company research is researched firsthand by real people in-house in Evanston, Illinois, identifying more than 30 key facts on each business. So if you want to, after today, you should check out their website, and you can also follow them on Twitter. And once again, I want to thank you so much, M&I and Katie, for this opportunity to present today and share the knowledge that I have. So we're going to do introductions. I'll tell you just a little bit about me. I'm not a Zoomer, Dan, but I do exist. That's a real life picture of me. I swear it really is. I am the president of DCSC, and our company started as a VAR, and we're going to talk about that a little later, for an accounting and manufacturing solution. We then decided to sell and implement another ERP solution, and we'll talk about that a little later. We were somewhat of the dark horse. We're a smaller boutique company, but we're very strong, and we work super, super hard. And we actually earned 2 major awards in 2002 and 2003. And we're talking our competitors were sometimes 20, 30, 40 times our size. So we work hard, we play hard here. We subsequently shifted our focus to solely support and develop our published software that's called DC Warehouse Automation, and our multi-carrier shipping solution called DC Mobile. Our software is constantly evolving to meet the needs of our distribution, manufacturing, and fulfillment clients. And if you've never met Buddy, he's our Blue Bull mascot. We help take the bull, which is manual and redundant processes, out of the warehouse. I am also co-leader of USA Manufacturing Hour, and I'm so excited because Dan Bigger has joined me today. He's also a co-leader. So I saw that we did have a few manufacturing companies join us today, and If you ever want to look at something cool, jump on Twitter at 1 o'clock Central on Thursdays and just type in hashtag USA MFG Hour, and you'll learn a lot. That's something that we're very, very proud of. On a personal note, I love nature, adventure, and this was on my recent trip to Colorado. That was 13,000 feet in the air. Now, enough about me. I want to know who's on my session today. Introduce yourself.
First, Kirsten. This is Dan Bigger. I'm the business development manager for a SaaS company that works in supply chain and production scheduling. And I'm also part of the USA Manufacturing Hour with Kirsten.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. Anybody else? Don't be shy.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Johnson, down in Texas, a logistics coordinator. Looking to learn a little bit more about warehouse automation and some of the processes, as we just got a new warehouse as well. So just looking to learn some more.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Cheryl.
My intro in the chat box for people who don't know me. I'm Katie, the manufacturing hype girl. I just talk a lot about manufacturing and industrial suppliers and all that kind of stuff. I also like to travel like Kirsten, and I love rock, geology. I love lots of stuff, and I love the USA Manufacturing Hour Twitter chat as well.
Hello, everybody. I'm familiar to a few of you here. I'm based down in South Wales, part of the United Kingdom. I'm not currently in manufacturing, but I spent a lot of time in supply chain management many years ago, and I'm really interested in seeing how things have developed in warehousing and supply chain since I was last involved with it. Great to see you, Kirsten, Dan, and Katie, and I'm looking forward to your presentation.
Well, thank you very much. All right. Is there anybody else that would like to introduce themselves? Then I'm going to keep going to the next slide. So, first question out here. This is a stunner. What does ERP mean? Does anybody know?
I can't remember what it means, but I know what it does.
Okay. All right. We're gonna find that out. So, ERP is it's technically called Enterprise Resource Planning. So what it is a software system that helps manage the organizations and automate their processes all on one system. So if you think about it this way, there are still companies out there that have one system for accounting, and then another system for customer relationships, and another system for order entry, and another system for inventory control. When you start hitting the big boy world, you're probably going to move into an ERP system. So there's 10 million out there, and I can tell you now, if you research them, you're going to get 10 million emails and calls because there's so many people trying to sell their ERP systems. You probably have heard some of these: Oracle, SAP, Acumatica, NetSuite, Sage Software, and that's the software that we actually work with, one of their ERP packages, Microsoft Dynamics. The list goes on and on. So most ERPs have these modules, and we get really lazy, especially for us folks in the States. We love just using SM, GL, AP, but it's pretty straightforward. SM is the system manager, so that's where people set up the system, the users, what they have access to, how their system is going to work on a daily basis. We have the GL, which is the general ledger. That's for all of our lovely controllers and accounting types. So every single transaction Eventually, it's going to trickle back to a general ledger, and that's for folks to be able to report their taxes, look at their profitability, see if there's losses, see if there's gains, see what kind of expenses there are out there, what sales are out there, etc. Your accounts payable that's just paying your checks. Receivable, that's pretty straightforward. That's invoicing and getting money in. Your IC is inventory control. Your PO is purchase orders. And your MF, and I know that sounds a little naughty, is manufacturing. So there's tons of ERP packages out there. I used to sell it. It was the hardest sale because the competition was so tough. There's really, really good packages out there. And, none of them are always going to be 100% fit for every single company, but they're definitely it's the right step to move forward. And, of course, right outside of our building, someone's car alarm has been going off. So we're going to go to our next question, WMS. What does WMS mean? Anybody out there?
House management system. Yes, yes, yes.
Very good. Yay, winner, winner. Yay, Beth joined. Hi, Beth. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi there.
So we're nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us today and always supporting us. So warehouse management, and a lot of times I see that this is kind of misused because there's all sorts of facets to it. But basically, in a nutshell, it's a system that offers visibility into the entire business, inventory, and supply chain. And we're talking from the DC, another thing to impress your friends with if you're not in the distribution business, that's your distribution center, all the way to the store shelf. So I'll give you for instance, our product DC warehouse, we do a couple of things. Inside of the four walls, and we help both distributors and manufacturers, we use scanners. We call them guns, but that might be offensive to some. Probably not anybody from Texas, but it's our slang word for the wireless devices. But we allow people to scan their inventory the moment they receive it, the moment they put it away, when they pick it, when they pack it, when they ship it, when they count it. On the manufacturing side, we're smart enough to tell people, hey, in order to meet your workload, you need to move raw materials from, let's say, over this area over to this work center. So this is all in real time, and it's updating one database in real time. So imagine that's within your four walls. Outside of your four walls, and we call it a push, what we do is we have integrations with various software packages. So we integrate with all of the shipping carriers. So we have direct integrations into UPS, into FedEx, into DHL, into Purolator. So our manufacturers and distributors ship product out all over North America and all over the world. So we're still giving them the visibility because when we ship that product out, we'll go to UPS site, for instance, bring back that tracking number associated with that shipment. Then we'll go into something else. We also do what's called EDI. So EDI is a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. And it's amazing to me how expensive EDI is. I don't understand why, because basically you're just transferring information. But that's another way that we connect the world in the supply chain. So when we ship out product, we print an ASN label. That's an advanced shipping notification. Well, all of that information can be transferred via 4 different EDI solutions that we have. And now we'll even take it even fancier to managing the supply chain. When we have all of this data, it doesn't really do good if it's just sitting in our warehouse or if it's just sitting in our distribution or with our accountants. So the majority of our customers and we're talking at least 90% of them, they take all of that data and they post it to various e-commerce sites. So it helps their vendors understand, oh my gosh, I might need to line some materials up for you because you're running low. You've just, this is what your inventory is looking like. It allows customers to go, hey, and we've all done that. I want to check my order. I want to see it's shipped. I want to track my order. I want to see where it's at. I'm just curious. So warehouse management system, it's not just within the four walls. There's a lot of softwares out there. We're a boutique firm, so we only work with a very specific ERP package right now. We are building a new product that will open the market up for us, but there's a lot of good systems out there. But keep in mind that WMS is not just barcoding and scanning within the facilities. It is a much bigger picture. All right. What is a CRM system? And don't be shy if you know the answer to this.
Customer relationship
A
management.
relationship manager.
Yay! 100%. You get the prize. So you got it. And Katie, are you on cue?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So a customer relations, and I will pull you into my world. Katie actually knows this. I unfortunately have I wouldn't call it a problem. It is a challenge. I definitely have ADHD. I'll be working on one thing and someone will say, Kirsten, I'll be like, squirrel, look. You should see my office. If I showed you my office, you would probably flip over backwards. I work in a big circle. It's clean, but it's a big circle. All I do is circle my chair around, and I move and move and move and move, and always do that. But I live and die with my CRM system because it keeps me focused. It keeps me productive. This is Sales Logics. There's a lot of different CRM systems out there. There's Axe, there's Salesforce.com, there's 10 million out there. But what this allows me to do, and I've hidden the name of the accounts, is this tells you this is everything that I really wanted to do. I force myself to call at least 10 companies a day that I haven't talked to if I'm not too busy. If not, to try to sell them something, just to talk, just to open up my community, because I can't sell anybody everything. But the more people that you talk to, the more you help each other. It's the way the world works. So every day, that's what I do. It also gives me information into all the accounts that I'm dealing with. So we're going to look up my friend Katie. You can see there's nothing private here other than the last time I emailed her, I said, I'm so excited, which I am still about this presentation. But what this does is if I need to do anything, let's say I need to schedule a to-do. I know one of my to-dos is follow-up after today. I'm going to say, okay, and I'm going to do this tomorrow, and I'm going to say, send Katie the recorded WebEx. So that's going to pop up tomorrow. So even if I do get ADHD tomorrow like I am every single day, that's going to be something that's going to ding at a specific time for me. The other thing that's cool is I can track every single conversation. So if I shoot an email to Katie, I'm just going to say, I love you, Katie. And I hope you're going to be on USA Manufacturing Hour this afternoon. So let's say that I'm shooting. Oh, cool. If you see this little button here that says Send Sales Logics, it does this amazing thing. Later in the fact, if I can go, oh my gosh, wait, did I send that email out? I forgot. Like, what? Did I? And boom, there it is. What's neat is if Katie responds to me, I'll pull up my Katie's. I can just take Katie's information. I can either record it to history with this button. I can see right now that Katie has read my message, but I can take any information, hit record, and it's going to go back into SalesLogix. So that's what CRM is at a very high level. There's a lot of other things that you can do with it, but very, very neat tool that I use on a daily basis. Okay, hopefully I can stump you all with this. What is that?
I don't know what it is.
Okay, okay.
Thanks, Sharif.
So supply chain management is coordinating, I can't talk today, the various actions necessary to produce and deliver goods or services to customers. So you'll hear this word more and more now. It's kind of a big buzzword. And basically, it's pretty straightforward. And one of the things that we all learned, especially in the last couple of years, we won't talk about the whole COVID situation that happened, is the supply chain is extremely, extremely important. I look at videos on at least a weekly basis. I'll look up a couple of videos. I am fascinated with the supply chain. I saw a beautiful video that I need to find the link to, and I'll send it out to anybody that joined us today. But it talked about how fragile the supply chain is when we really think about it, and we kind of learned that in the last 2 years, especially if we're bringing in goods from overseas. I mean, those goods, they need to go onto a container, and they need to be checked in, and they need to go through customs, and those ships then cross the ocean. And we all think of that, you know, like just that we order something from, let's say, a big box company, Amazon or Target or something like that, and we just think it magically appears. It's not like that at all. And anybody that is in warehousing and manufacturing understands all of this behind. So you think about importing. You think about what happened during the whole COVID situation. We were really, really all caught in a bad spot because those ships came in, and then we had a situation where we didn't have enough people at the ports to check in those products. So there's containers just sitting out there on the ocean. And then when it finally comes into the port, it needs to be checked in, and that takes human beings to do. And it's just a fascinating, fascinating world. And then we have our truck drivers who I feel for every single day. Those are totally the backbone of our country. In other countries, those guys and gals are so important to us. Those guys and the warehouse workers. So then the truck drivers were jammed up. Some of it was political. I won't even tell you my you know, which way I vote, because it's not about that anymore in this world. But some of it was political, some of it was not. Some of the truck drivers were just sitting in their trucks because they couldn't get appointments to pick things up. And then we've got your folks that, you know, need to pick the product up from the ports, drive it, or, you know, drive it across a state or locally or to a train station, etc. It's just amazing. If there's any reason, and no offense to anybody from another country, because I'm a huge big world girl, I love the universe, but if this whole COVID situation didn't teach us that we surely need to manufacture more goods in the United States of America, I don't know. I still have so much toilet paper. It is amazing in my house. I never thought in my life that I would frantically be buying toilet paper. So it's crazy. On the flip side, from the supply chain, we're talking about the manufacturers and everything that goes into it. My goodness gracious. So whether they have raw goods or components from the state, or they're waiting on goods, They have to schedule their production. They have to have human beings to work with that material, to bring it to specific work centers, to track that inventory, to make sure that they have what they need, to communicate amongst everyone. Is it done? Is it there? Is it a finished good yet? That all rolls down to the accountants because they need to track that. They need to tell the beautiful IRS, this is what we have on hand. This is, what the value of our inventory is. It's important for customer service because they need to know what can we sell, what can we communicate to our customers. So supply chain management is such a beautiful yet very complicated world. It is the world that I live in. It is the reason that I have to color my gray, but that is what supply chain management is. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. What does integration mean in the technology world? And don't be shy. Any clue?
When two or more pieces of technology work together.
Exactly. And thank you for joining us. I appreciate it, Sharice. Yes, exactly. It's precisely what you said. And basically, it's anytime systems can exchange data without human intervention, meaning a human being has to walk over to a keyboard and enter data, you are working with a system integration. So they're connected behind the scenes through various touch points, and you can have multiple touch points across multiple data platforms. So very, very good. Good answers out there. And then here's some fun words that we use in our technology world. APIs, and again, I wouldn't know this stuff if I wasn't in this industry, is an application programming interface. So an example of that would be we connect to FedEx. They are one of the shipping carriers that we allow our customers to shop rates from, to pick, and pack, and ship, and print out their labels and all of that. So we have these wonderful guys here in our company called software developers, and without them, we couldn't do these great things. But through APIs, we connect to that. So that's how that works. We talked about EDI. That's electronic data interchange. That's huge. We talk about ADC. It's another word to throw around, and that's a new one that it's weird because I've been in this industry forever, and I heard that, and I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's what I do, automated data collection. So that is where you're using a scanner, so a wireless device to do your job. You can scan your employee badge if you're in manufacturing and scan the transaction that you've done, and that's all updating a database somewhere in a software package. Same type of thing if you're at the grocery store and you're checking out with your chocolate chips and your mac and cheese and all of that. I personally like to go to the cashier because I like to talk to people and I watch them scan my stuff and I get a chit chat with my faves. But you can go to your self-service, and a lot of you know about that. You're scanning a barcode. That's going into their system. It's pulling out their current pricing and all of that information. So that's automated data collection. You can even go further with this technology, and we've done that in our land. We have connected with robotics, which is pretty fun. It's very, very pricey. I don't think that there is going to be as much robotics as people think, but they're never going to replace humans. I put my foot down on it right now. Robots don't understand my sense of humor, and that's just the way I'm looking at it. But we also connect to things called packaging machines. So again, This is just automatic connection going back and forth. And again, it's just to streamline activities and to make the world a more connected place, which is sometimes good and sometimes bad, in my humble opinion. Okay, what does VAR mean?
Value-added reseller.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. I never heard that. Awesome.
Yeah, so and we were a VAR at one time. We were a VAR for a very, very large software company. So basically, in a nutshell, and especially if you're looking for products, if you're looking for a warehouse management system, if you're looking for an ERP system, if you're looking for a planning solution or a scheduling solution, sometimes companies sell their solutions directly, and that's cool because they know their solutions. They've got a team of implementers and folks that can do it. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes the model is the software company will have a program where a VAR will come in, that value-added reseller. They will obviously require some type of training, and they will obviously require some kind of background check to make sure that, hey, is this company even capable of doing this? So that is what VAR is. I kind of like the hybrid model where a company can sell direct or through a VAR. I think that that's kind of a beautiful way to balance it out. But if you are looking for software, what you also are looking for is not just what you're buying, but who's selling it to you. And you want to look at things like, are they honest with you? If you ask, does your software do that, and they automatically say, yeah, it sure does, be leery. You want VARs that can say, no, we don't do that. That's not a feature in our product, but it's certainly something that we can add. You want to look at people that might have expertise or be local to you. One of the things that I love in my community, especially through the people I've met through Manufacturing Hour, is there stuff that I have no clue what it is. In fact, Katie, I should have put another note that I need to call and ask you about something tomorrow. But what you're looking for is the relationship and balancing that with the technology. So, in my opinion, the hybrid approach is great when a software company can sell direct or through VARs, but keep in mind your relationship with that value-added reseller is really something that you want to look at. You want to also ask questions like, let's get a little further down the road and see if you even have the right solution for me. But let me ask you some more questions. Can you come to my business and see how we do business? Because there are things such as, and that's another acronym, or however you say that word, best practices. But let's face it, every single company, regardless if you're a construction company, a distribution company, a marketing company, a software development company, everyone has something unique, a unique flavor to them. So that's another important thing when you're doing business with people. Can you learn about me? Can we talk together? And then last but not least, can I talk to some references? You're very, very good, Mr. Salesperson, and I am in sales, so I'm not chalking anything up against salespeople. It's probably got to be the hardest job in the world. But, number one, okay, you've gone through this. I understand the pricing. You understand my business. Hey, you know what? Can I talk to some of your customers and see what their relationship is like? So that's what a VAR is. So next time you're at a cocktail party and you want to impress your friends, do it. All right, and I know a few of you know what this means, but I'm all ears. We're having fun today. What does MRP mean? Katie?
Manufacturing resource planning.
Very, very good. Good answer, Nigel. Love it.
I am listening.
Okay. All right. So it's materials requirement planning, and it's typically done in a manufacturing environment. So it basically is using software and data to understand their current inventory, their workload, and plan for the production and purchasing. And it's pretty complicated. It's harder than what you think. And then we can call it DRP, because at one point in time, I totally got MRP, but I'm like, what's DRP? DRP is distribution requirement planning. So basically what it is allowing you to say, what do I have in stock? What do I not have in stock? What do I need to produce? How long does it take me to produce it? How many people do I have on shift? How fast do my machines run? How am I going to do this? Do I need to purchase anything? Do I need to wait for anything? All of this. So MRP has got to be the most complicated thing out there. And can you imagine that there are still companies that are doing all of this stuff without using real live data? They're waiting on Joe to count the items out in the plant and write it on a piece of paper, to bring it over to Mary to hand key that in. They're waiting on someone else to give them a call, to let them know where their shipment is, all of this. So MRP, material requirements planning, a lot of fun.
So how does
And
that either go with, or is it a same word that you would use when it comes to like procurement? So is that similar to procurement, or is that different than procurement?
It's different than procurement, but similar. So procurement, and that is a word, that, and the word maintenance. I can never say it and make it sound cool. Procurement is purchasing products, and it totally rolls up into MRP. Let's just basically, let's look at it this way. Okay, so procurement, or purchasing product, most often starts with a purchaser or a buyer placing a purchase order or multiple purchase orders with a company for those products or services. That is what procurement is. Where MRP and DRP help behind the scenes, and the best way to describe it is many ERP packages have built-in DRP and MRP. Some of them don't, and there are solutions out there that integrate with that. But what those solutions do is they analyze your data. They say, okay, let's look at XYZ company. Okay, and let's just pretend, for instance, they sell dancing Santas. Okay, so and those dancing Santas really move fast, like in November and December. So in order to procure those at the right time, or produce those at the right time and get the components for that, it's easier for them to have a system that's analyzing the data. So it is actually going through all of the inventory that you have on hand, and that's called real-time inventory. And they're saying, okay, you have about 100 dancing Santas in stock. So basically what will happen is you'll look at, and you'll take you'll use some analysis. You'll use your inventory calendar, and again, sometimes it just blows my mind, everything that people have to look through. But it'll look at your inventory calendar, and it'll look at things not at 365 days a year, because maybe you're not open on Saturday and Sunday. It might look at buckets. It might say for October, there's 31 days in October, but you're only purchasing for, 5, 10, 15, 20 days, right? So October has a 20-day bucket, and it's looking at the inventory that you have, and it's looking at when you usually sell this, and it's also looking at the orders that you have, and it's also system data that's looking at the orders that are already on order that might be on ship in a container somewhere. And so what it does, what these MRP and DRP solutions do, is they pop up suggestions. And they say, based on what you have on hand, we're saying that you should buy. And they're not always right, too, because you have to configure this stuff correctly. But they might say, hey, looking at all this data, you really need to buy 1,150 Santas from XYZ supplier because they have some in stock because your systems are connected. That's what procurement is. It's buying. And hopefully I didn't talk too much and answered your question.
No, that was perfect. Thanks.
No problem. Okay, and this one's fun. And I don't know why. Anytime I do these webinars, I get hungry, and I even had fruit this morning. But there's some cookies in the kitchen that I think I have to go visit. But let's talk about this. What is a cookie? And this is related to technology. Does anybody know? And don't be shy.
It's when technology collects the information from the visitor.
Bingo. You are, oh yeah, you are so right. Okay. You are so right. And thank you for that. So cookies allow websites to remember you. They can remember your website logins, your shopping carts, and a lot more. But let's kind of talk about this, and I'd like to be open-minded about this. Have you ever felt like you were being watched, or is it just me? Am I the only crazy one ever?
Not the only crazy one.
We're being watched, yes.
I know we're being watched.
Oh, gosh.
I like when I talk about something and then suddenly 5 minutes later there's an ad on my phone for it.
Yes.
Is that not creepy? Is that not super, super creepy? I mean, it's okay. Like the same thing, Katie, happened to me. Like we were talking about, not going to fib, but my special man friend, he basically broke a tooth and it came out, and that was his only tooth. But it wasn't his only tooth. No, excuse me. It was his first tooth. It was his first tooth that he lost as an adult, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're sitting there talking because he don't want to go into too much private details, but he doesn't have a dental insurance plan. And this is how creepy this was. We're sitting there talking in the kitchen about, well, what are they going to do? Because I guess they're going to have to do a dental implant. Kid you not. Next time I was on my phone looking up something totally different, all of a sudden dental implant comes out. Spooky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Alexa or Siri in the house?
We do not have Alexa or Siri.
That means that the phone that you've got, the microphone was switched on, listening to your conversation. Yep. Beware of your phones.
100%.
Yeah.
And same thing that I'm going to tell you all because we are all vulnerable. There are things that you can, and I need to look at my phone. And I think I put everything on there that's not supposed to be, but I need to look at that. That's a good reminder. See, I need to put that in my CRM system. But basically, there's good things about this, and let's be honest. If you sell anything or you work, it's because the product of your company is being sold. And there's good marketing efforts out there, and those marketing efforts, are looking for people that want to buy your product or your services. But take a really good look. After today, because in Chrome and in Explorer and Foxfire and all there is ways that you can still search the internet in incognito mode, and you can turn off the ability for this to happen. So yeah, it's pretty creepy to me. Like I'll give you another for instance. The other day it was my birthday, and I beat my friend to the bar. So I go to the bar because we wanted to get there earlier because the food is a lot cheaper between at happy hour prices. And so I go up, and they're like, "Are all of you in your party here?" I'm like, "No, my friend's on her way, but can we just have a table?" And she's like, "Well, technically your party has to be here." Okay, no problem. I'm just gonna sit at the bar, but can I at least put my name in line for the table? And the lady's like, "Well, what's your number?" And I said, "Why do I need to give you my number to put my name in line?" She's like, "Oh, well, we'll text you when your table's ready." So I'm like, all right, fine. Every time someone asks for my number, I'm kind of scared. You know what I'm saying? Same thing about my email address. Give her my number, and she says, "Oh," she's like, "Okay, Miss Austin." I was just like floored. I'm like, "How did you know that?" And she's like, "Oh, and it was from like 2 weeks ago. I was making a reservation, and the only way that I could make a reservation is you couldn't call the restaurant. You had to use this thing called Open Table." And I don't know, creepy, but so
Yeah.
sometimes I think technology is awesome, and sometimes not so much. All right, we're almost near the end, so let's go into a little more stuff here. What does TMS mean? Does anybody know? So TMS is your transportation management system, okay? And it all fits in every single else thing that we're talking about, the supply chain management. It's a technology solution that allows you to manage the shipping component of products through freight, air, or ships. Again, and I'm not trying to sell my solution because it's not right for everybody, but that's what we did. Is we created a multi-carrier shipping solution that allows you to shop for rates between various shipping carriers and look at things like, okay, who can get us there the fastest, or who's the cheapest, so on and so forth. And then when we do ship the product, we're taking that tracking number, pulling it back for inquiries, letting operations know, customer service, and then behind the scenes, we can even, through alert notification, send an email to whoever is going to end up with the product, and boom, there you go. And then it gets bigger than that. For managing ships coming in and all of that data, we don't have that built into our solution. There's products out there that do that. So if someone needs to look at the whole entire picture, we usually look at, okay, who are you using to do your container and freight tracking and all of that? And do they have APIs that we can connect to? But that's what a TMS system is. Okay, we're at our end here, and thank you all so much for joining this session, and it was a lot of fun today. I really want y'all to be honest about this. In your opinion, do you think there's such a thing as too much technology?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything really.
I'd like to qualify that. Technology is brilliant at improving processes, speeding things up, but just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Agreed.
100% on that.
It needs to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Many companies buy systems that don't even integrate with each other, which I've seen many times.
Yeah.
Spot on, Dan.
100%.
Construction going on in my house, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think about this too, and I will follow up with an email to everyone that attended. I know a few of you have heard the interview that I had with Julie Basella hold And it's really kind of funny because I am in the technology business, but I also am a pilgrim at home. I try very, 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 very hard, to turn my phone off completely because I can go crazy talking to people all day long and all night. I also really don't think it's healthy for everybody. Everybody's into so much instant this, instant that, all the social stuff, I'm not going to lie, I have a Facebook page, but I'm only on there maybe twice a week. It's cool to see my friends that I'm in St. Louis, they live in Maine, or they live in California. And it's cool to see, what they're doing and all of that. But, it's almost like we're trained to not give each other a call. I look at children today, oh my gosh, and again, I don't want to knock technology because just like Nigel and Dan said, it should serve a purpose. If it makes someone's lives easier, that's a good thing. If it saves, it can even create jobs and save jobs. It's good for the supply chain. It's good for all that. But just like this afternoon on our little USA Manufacturing Hour chat, we're going to have Professor Pete, who's a stress expert, and he wrote a really good book that I cannot even think of the name of it right now, but we're going to be talking about, stress and all of that. So absolutely, in my humble opinion, even as a techie, when I see kids walking on the street on a nice day and they're all immersed in their phones, I really want to bop them over the head. Not that I'm a child abuser, but I just think that, it requires a balance. I'm going to end the session with, if anybody has anything to add, please add. And thank you all for joining us. And I truly do hope that you might have learned one or two new concepts. But anything to add today? All right.